Welcome, Horizon World. Welcome to another segment of Meta News. I'm Blanco, El Blanco, with business news. And tonight, I'm going to talk about some private side of business, the private sector. But this is going to concentrate a little more on the legal side of things. But before I proceed, it's always courteous and the right thing to do by saying, I'm not an attorney, I do not practice law, and this is not legal advice, but it is something for you to look into and learn more about. So when I share things like this with you, Horizon Worlds, it's a good thing for you to get out your legal glossary, legal dictionaries, and start digging in. Recently over the past weekend, I had a friend. She had some issues with a corporation. And corporations tend to pick on the little guy because the little guy normally don't have long pockets to sue or try to go into the courtroom and spend years of trying to get some type of remedy from a corporation that has done them wrong. So I have a term for you, Horizon Worlds, and this term is called, well, it's a phrase, but it's terminology that stands for private administrative action. A private administrative action. Well, courts are public administrative actions because that's in a court administration having a litigation about a controversy between two parties. So let's say you had a controversy and it's with a corporation. It's something as simple as you ordered something from them. You spent about $350 for it. By the time you get it, it arrives, right? And it's just not what they advertised or whatever. Okay. So we already know the general thing about, well, you buy something, if they do false advertisement, you have all these little different things you could do. But in this case, you know, let's just say this company is they're just not want to play ball, they don't want to treat you fairly, and they just won't give you any kind of remedy. So the typical thing you could do is you could create a small claims, which is it's a controversy because you're trying to get a remedy through the court, through small claims court, which is fairly, it's fairly affordable, and it doesn't take a lot of knowledge or a lot of background knowledge in law. All you would need to do is just look at the rules and follow the rules if you're a plaintiff trying to get a remedy from someone who has wronged you. Now, why do I say small claims court? Because small claims court is affordable, and typically a company don't want to pay a attorney a retainer, which could be anywhere between 1,500 to 25,000 to come to court for them, especially if it's something as low as $350 that you're asking for. So they would rather not spend that money and not show up. And if they don't show up, if you read the rules to any type of court proceeding when the opponent doesn't show up, you could ask for a default judgment saying that they defaulted. You won by default. They didn't even challenge it. So that's one way. But if it's deeper than that, and the situation is requires you don't really have an out. That's an administrative procedure, which is a private one that you could learn how to do by learning about private rights of action. If it's a commercial event, you could look at the principles of the Uniform Commercial Code, and which talks about the principles of contracting, um, different things pertaining to rules of evidence, um, and just different things dealing with just the private side of dealing with an issue, whether it's in law or not, but it's the private way of doing so. So pretty much, if you learn what a private administrative process is, you're probably not going to find it that much, in public information. But in general, you look at a proceeding that's listed as private rights of action. You can look at court cases. If you could like do a Google Scholar search where it's free to look up some court cases that are indexed. Some of you may have friends who are students in school. They may have access to the LexisNexis or the Westlaw platform where you can look things up like that, or you can do general searches. And once you get closer and closer to what you're looking for, you can make those searches a little bit more direct until you can find out how to proceed in private actions, which are normally called private administrative processes. So, once again, just to cap it off, I just wanted to share something with you tonight because dealing with private, a private side of things because these corporations are mishandling people and they're getting over because people don't know the law. And one of the easiest ways you can deal with a company who has wronged you, or you feel that they should return some money, or they should replace a product, or give you a better service, you can always say, "Hey, for that little $500 I paid, I'll just go file a claim in small claims court." But you must always have proof of claim, and you must know how to set up that claim in the courts by looking at the rules. So in your free time, it won't hurt for you guys to go out and just start reading up how to do a small claims, how to conduct a proceeding in small claims court, and then that may lead you to other things like private administrative processes as well. So once again, this is El Blanco. I'm with Meta News, Horizon World premier news source, and this is the Blanco Business News segment. Good night.